I posted a video online of me cooking daily meals for my fiancé, Ethan, and it unexpectedly went viral. Eagle-eyed users noticed that the food I made was identical to the loving lunchboxes an academic couple posted online. I clicked on that couple's profile and immediately recognized the guy in the video as my so-called fiancé, Ethan. Turns out, my fiancé already had a girlfriend. One before going to bed, I finished editing the video of me cooking for Ethan that day and uploaded it. I was too tired to pay much attention to what happened afterward. Who knew that when I woke up, my phone blew up, like cold water hitting boiling water. After opening it, I found that the video I posted last night had gone viral and was on the trending topics. It already had hundreds of thousands of likes and tens of thousands of comments. I'd been teaching myself social media for 3 months, producing many works, but with very little traffic. Ordinary videos usually only had a handful of comments and likes. I never expected that one day my video would actually go viral. It was impossible not to be excited. My hands trembled as I clicked into the comments section, where I saw nothing but positive reviews. Everyone said my food looked appetizing. However, as I scrolled further down the comments section, the tone shifted. How is the food this creator makes exactly the same as what Chloe and her boyfriend eat every day? It can't be that much of a coincidence. It's not just the food, the lunchboxes are identical. You're right. Chloe's lunchbox has a damaged spot on its design, and the one in the video has it too. Looks like they really are eating the same food. But these hands don't look like Chloe's? Then why does the caption say cooking for my fiancé? If's boyfriend and the creator's fiancé are the same person, then I've stumbled upon a massive secret. Wow. I was really rooting for Chloe and her academic partner. I can't believe the guy is two-timing. Creator, can you tell us about your relationship with Ethan? These comments left me a bit stunned. Following a helpful user's guidance, I clicked on the account profile named Ethan and Chloe's Little. When I saw the profile's background image, my pupils suddenly dilated. Then, with a jolt, I clicked on a video pinned to their profile. Ethan was prominently featured in the video, his smile, his doting gaze, his gentle voice. They were all exactly as I remembered him. But the Ethan in the video was hugging, holding hands, and even kissing a young, beautiful girl. All their actions confirmed one identity: they were a couple, but was clearly my fiancé. At the beginning of the year, he even held an engagement ceremony with me in our hometown. I ran my fingers over my engagement ring, and my blood began to run cold. My hands couldn't stop trembling. I had to call Ethan and get to the bottom of this. Ethan's number was pinned at the top of my contacts, so I found it quickly. Just as I was about to dial, Ethan, as if sensing something, called me first. Luna, did you post that cooking video on the trending topics? I did. My emotions hadn't calmed down, and my voice trembled. What's your relationship with that girl? Are you a couple? If so, what does that make me? I could hear the howling wind on Ethan's end. Luna, it's a misunderstanding. Wait for me, I'll come over and explain everything in person. Okay. Ethan finally arrived 20 minutes later. I opened the door for him. Ethan looked like he had rushed over, sweat still on his forehead. He didn't wait to find a seat but stood as he explained. Chloe and I are just business partners. A contract couple, do you understand? I shook my head. No, if it's just a partnership, why did you look so pleased and so in love? Those expressions, those actions, those gazes, they can't lie. What's more, I choked up a bit here. You even kissed. The 360-degree, no dead-angle kissing scene in the video felt like a sharp knife piercing my heart. It's not what you're imagining. Ethan's neck turned red with urgency. That was a forced perspective shot. It only looked like we were kissing, but our lips didn't actually touch. Actually, I was kissing my fingers. Didn't the male and female leads kissing scenes in a show you used to watch use this technique? Luna, have you forgotten? I did recall seeing that interview, but I still had many questions. What about the rest? I was referring to those gazes, those intimate gestures. Ethan looked at me deeply. That's because I've always imagined her as you. But you never told me about the girl's existence. Originally, that account was just for fun. It gained so many followers purely by luck. So, I never took it seriously and just posted casually. A hint of distrust still flickered in my eyes. Seeing this, Ethan grew anxious. His eyes reddened. The situation just broke, and I didn't even have time to wash up before rushing here to explain. I even skipped my professor's public lecture this morning. Are you still doubting my sincerity? If I didn't genuinely care about you and fear your misunderstanding, would I have rushed over like this? He was so anxious he was almost in tears. Seeing him like this, a hardened knot somewhere inside me seemed to suddenly soften. All my doubts and distrust instantly dispersed like mist. I felt a pang of sympathy. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have doubted you. Luna, I'm relieved to hear you say that. Ethan pulled me into his embrace. Feeling his familiar warmth, I felt a surge of reassurance in my heart. Ethan held me for a while before letting go. Luna, there's a lot of criticism against me online right now. Could you please step forward and explain that you're our family's housekeeper? 3 housekeeper? Yes, that's the only way to clear me of the two-timing accusation. But I'm clearly your fiancé. I wanted to say, why don't you clarify your business relationship with Chloe? Ethan took my hand, his thumb gently rubbing the gears on my engagement ring. Chloe and my account have pretty good traffic right now, and we've landed quite a few advertisements, so we can earn some ad revenue. He said earnestly, the current competitive environment is really tough, and I still want to use this account to add a nice highlight to my resume, so I can find a good job. But the current public opinion is really bad for me. Some advertisers are already asking to terminate contracts, which means facing hefty penalty fees. Ethan looked deeply at me. It'll cost at least 100,000. Ethan and I both came from the countryside, with poor family backgrounds. In our small town community, we were considered among the least successful. This 100,000 might not even be enough if we sell everything we own. At the mention of this, I immediately became anxious. If I issue a statement, will it prevent the breach of contract? Ethan nodded. Yes, just follow what I tell you to say. For the statement was pre-written by Ethan, I just needed to publish it on my account. With my clarifying statement, the public pressure on Ethan's side significantly eased. He sent me good news. The brand decided not to terminate the contract. I sighed in relief. That's good. I thought that would be the end of it. But I was naive and didn't expect that this clarifying statement would brutally direct the backlash at me. Oh, so she's the housekeeper. No wonder their relationship seemed so strange. A housekeeper actually calls herself his fiancée? How disgusting. Miss, please know your place. Be a good housekeeper, and stop fantasizing about climbing the social ladder. This housekeeper seriously makes me sick. You've truly shown us what a delusional pipe dream looks like. So shameless. The online users' insults toward me were incredibly harsh. Not only that, but some users dug up parts of my private information. Strangers called me and sent me insulting texts day and night. I was on edge from the harassment and couldn't even sleep well at night. The only one I could turn to for help was Ethan. Ethan, please help me. Ethan comforted me. I'll talk to Chloe about saying some good things for you. His words made me feel much more at ease. However, the next day when I opened my eyes, I received even more malicious insults from users. Sister, you're so ugly. You have the nerve to try and seduce men with that big face? If you don't have a mirror, surely you can pee and look at your reflection. Ugly monster, wake up. You're not worthy of Ethan. Calling you a toad is an insult to the toad itself. Someone posted pictures of me. The photos showed me plump and swollen, with acne. I remembered those photos, they were taken during my senior year of high school. At that time, due to college entrance exam anxiety, I would overeat, and my weight soared to over 150 pounds. Because of anxiety, my endocrine system was often imbalanced, leading to frequent breakouts on my face. That was the year I felt most self-conscious. Many times, I didn't even dare to look in the mirror. But after graduating high school, I immediately started to lose weight, determined to leave that embarrassing past behind. I never thought it would be dug up again years later. The shame felt like it was piercing through me. I felt completely uncomfortable. And the source of the photos was none other than Ethan and Chloe's little. 6 Ethan and Chloe's little latest update read, everyone, let's not blame the housekeeper, she has no academic qualifications, only a high school diploma. Maybe she didn't quite understand what fiancé meant when she wrote the caption. With picture. The account had extensively posted my past struggles photos and specifically mentioned my educational background. The comments section immediately exploded. Chloe is a flawless goddess. This housekeeper isn't worthy of even tying her shoelaces. Yeah, why are they comparing her to our Chloe? Is he even worthy? Appearance is given by parents. I won't comment much, but I must say, housekeeper sis, read more books. Not only is her looks a disaster, but her education level is also astonishingly bad. The college entrance exam was a lifelong trauma for me, and so-called help was to rip open old wounds, mine. At a painful price, I endured the ridicule and insults of online users. Is this the action of a man who repeatedly claimed to care about me, who promised to be good to me for the rest of my life? 7. I dialed his number. After a long wait, he finally picked up. Ethan. I had just spoken. A woman's scream came from the other end of the line. I recognized it was Chloe. Her voice, like in the videos posted on her account, was sweet but now sharp and hysterical. Big sister, how much longer are you going to harass my boyfriend? Friend? Chloe cursed. Otherwise, you thought he was your boyfriend, huh? If you're really delusional, go get some treatment. That's not right. You're mistaken. Ethan was already my fiancé. Hearing that I still had the nerve to argue, Chloe was so angry she laughed. Are you still wishful thinking? Do you have to force me to expose you publicly? She hung up the phone amidst her roaring anger. When I tried to call back, I couldn't get through. She must have blocked me. The store was busy with a promotion today, so I couldn't leave for a while. So, I thought, if I still couldn't reach Ethan after work, I'd go to the university to find him. It would also be a good opportunity to clarify things face to face. 8. That afternoon, I was at work. With the clicking of high heels, an elegantly dressed lady gracefully entered the store. Her voice was somewhat delicate. Which one is Luna? A colleague simply pointed in my direction. The next moment, she walked straight towards me. Before I could clearly see her face, smack, my face was slapped sideways. She had used almost all her strength. A stinging pain flared on my cheek. At the same time, an angry shout rang in my ears. You shameless woman, are you still trying to seduce my boyfriend? I covered my face, turned my head, and recognized that it was Chloe. What do you mean? Chloe looked at me with disdain. Don't play innocent. Is this how you seduce men? Trying to be a homewrecker and seduce other men, and you still have the nerve to deny it? She had a strong presence and spoke aggressively. Without letting me refute, she forcibly dragged me to the most prominent spot in the store. Everyone, look closely. This person is shameless, seducing someone else's boyfriend. Do you really think you're a fairy just because you lost a few pounds? Go look in a mirror. You're barely 20 and already look like a worn-out woman. Your skin is worse than my mom's. Chloe energetically urged the onlookers. Everyone, take pictures of this face and share them on your social media feeds and in group chats. The crowd was prone to following trends, and instantly dozens of phones were raised, pointed at my face. All those cameras were aimed at my face. Already suffering from body image anxiety due to the recent online bullying incident, my heart suddenly constricted under so many lenses. My instinctive reaction was to cover my face with my hands. My cowardly and timid appearance truly made me look like a cheater caught red-handed, too ashamed to show her face. The store was already crowded because of the event, and with Chloe causing such a spectacle, even more people gathered. Most were just there for the drama, holding up their phones, taking photos and videos of me, their eyes filled with disdain and mockery. In the chaos of the crowd, in a moment of inattention, someone threw a rotten egg at me. It hit me squarely on the forehead, and the foul-smelling egg liquid slid down my cheek. The smell was pungent, and my head ached from the impact. My pathetic state largely amused some of the onlookers. Good throw. This kind of indecent man should be publicly shamed. As a woman, if you can't even maintain your decency, you are a disgrace to our gender. I agree with the big brother. Agree. Then, more people started throwing things at my face. There were rotten produce, banana peels, trash bags. I covered my face, stumbling and hiding behind the shelves in the store. No, I'm not the other woman. Ethan and I are officially engaged. Chloe yanked me out from behind the shelves. Her grip was even stronger, and the malice in her eyes deepened. It was as if she wanted to devour me on the spot. Everyone, listen. This woman is still stubborn. Chloe's strong presence made her look like the rightful partner, so inevitably, most of the crowd sided with her. Is she mentally ill? Send her to a psychiatric hospital immediately. Exactly, she'll just ruin more people outside. Someone had already called the psychiatric hospital. If I didn't speak up for myself, I was afraid I would be dragged away as a psychiatric patient. I really am Ethan's fiancé. We have an engagement ring. Hearing me say that, the onlookers calmed down a bit. 9. This is our engagement ring. I took off the ring on my left hand and held it up for everyone to see. Chloe rolled her eyes in exasperation. You have the nerve to make a scene here with a fake ring. She shook the ring in her hand. It was uncanny. Our rings looked almost identical in appearance. Are you also going to say that Ethan's initials are engraved on the inside of the ring? My eyes widened as I stared at the ring in her hand, then helplessly looked at my own. When we got engaged, Ethan personally told me that this ring was a designer brand custom piece, only one pair could be bought in a lifetime. The design would not be repeated. So this definitely meant that one of our rings was fake. An inexplicable feeling made my eye twitch, as if it were foretelling something bad. And as it happened, there was a customer in the crowd who owned a jewelry store and could authenticate diamonds. After several rounds of testing, I received a shocking and chilling result. My engagement ring was fake. Now I got what I asked for. I became the laughingstock of the crowd. In despair and complete discouragement, Ethan arrived late. Seeing his figure, my eyes immediately welled up with tears. He finally came. Although he didn't arrive in time, at least he showed up. He could prove my innocence and take me away from this chaotic place. But instead, he just brushed past me. He grabbed Chloe's hand. The two of them walked off as if to elope, riding off into the sunset. The crowd, seeing me neglected and abandoned, couldn't help but cheer. In the end, it was the psychiatric hospital staff who took me away. 10 After enduring a spectacle, I was exhausted again, having to prove my sanity. By the time I dragged myself, weary, back to my rental apartment, it was past midnight. My phone was more buzzing than ever, messages kept pouring in. After clicking it open, I found that what had happened that afternoon had been posted online. More accurately, the entire afternoon spectacle had been live-streamed. My embarrassment, disgrace, and humiliation were all captured. Everyone was cursing me. Chloe, however, became a role model for us all in the eyes of online users, thanks to her actions that afternoon. This is how you deal with the other woman, tough and direct. Go. Learn from Chloe. In just a short afternoon, the Ethan and Chloe's little account had gained hundreds of thousands of followers. Their follower count doubled. Their popularity was unprecedentedly high. Capitalizing on the popularity, the account also started a live stream. Even though it was almost midnight, there were still over 100,000 people in the live stream. Chloe proudly shared her emotional journey of the day. Ethan sat beside her, his eyes full of affection. He had ignored me, but in the live stream, he was cheerfully answering questions from users. Why did you let her be a housekeeper? Purely out of pity, I just thought I'd help where I could. At first, I didn't know she had other intentions. If I had known, I definitely wouldn't have hired her. Why didn't you fund her to go to university? It's not that I didn't want to, it's mainly that she's not cut out for it. Her grades were so bad that she didn't even dare to take the college entrance exam. A user commented below. With her level, not even knowing the meaning of fiancé, wouldn't taking the college entrance exam just be a waste paper? Haha, her score wouldn't even be as high as the sole of my shoe. Actually, my high school grades were always good. Based on my usual performance, I might even have had a chance to get into a top-tier university. But the accident happened on the day of the college entrance exam when Eleanor hid my admission ticket. As a result, I couldn't even enter the exam hall. That day, I was so distraught that I even fainted from crying outside the exam hall. It was Ethan who made time after the exam to comfort and accompany me. He was the one who best understood my despair and breakdown at the time, but now, he could effortlessly share it with online users as if it were a joke. My heart ached as if it would explode. Ethan, you malicious. 12 When things go wrong, even a sip of water can choke you. Just as I was recovering, the landlord suddenly started pounding violently on my apartment door. He had come to evict me. Your reputation is so tarnished now, it'll make it impossible for me to rent out my place. I can't let you keep living here. He didn't even give me time to process, kicking me out of the rental apartment that very night. I looked at my scattered luggage and knelt powerlessly on the roadside. In the silent night, I felt an unprecedented desolation inside. In the latter half of the night, I managed to find a hotel where I could stay. After only a few hours of rest, the store manager called me. I was fired. She sighed. I didn't need to come to work anymore. I stared helplessly at the hung-up phone, tears immediately welling up in my eyes. Luna, oh Luna, what terrible karma did you incur to suffer all these things? I had clearly done nothing wrong. 13 After processing all my emotions, my mindset underwent a significant change. In this incident, I was never at fault from beginning to end. The blame should not be aimed at me, but at the real culprit, Ethan. So I started organizing our chat records. Every screenshot was a memory to me. But that was all in the past. I would no longer like Ethan, a man with no sense of responsibility. It took several hours to organize the chat records. The final file was a hefty 10 gigabytes, and though extensive, it was enough to prove Ethan's scumbag nature. Just as I saved the file, my phone suddenly went black. There was no warning whatsoever. I tried many methods, but the phone wouldn't turn on normally. When I asked at the repair shop, the clerk said, "There's no hardware problem with the phone. It's probably a virus." So, can it be fixed? The repair shop person shrugged helplessly. I don't know that kind of high-end tech. You should find someone good with computers. Someone good with computers. As soon as that phrase popped up, it hit me. Ethan's major was related to computers. Could it be that he hacked into my phone and destroyed the files? 14 things were just as I had imagined. Ethan did it. He had secretly installed a virus on my phone a long time ago to monitor my life. This was to prevent me from cheating or betraying him. And while he was so wary of me, he couldn't maintain his own boundaries and secretly got involved with someone else. He even personally guided unsuspecting online users to attack and criticize me. Ethan, you're disgusting. You have no backbone. Don't be angry, I did this for your own good. I couldn't understand how he could shamelessly say such a thing. You let people hurt me, and that's supposed to be for my own good? You deceived my feelings, fooled me with a fake ring, stood by when I was publicly humiliated, and even personally guided the online bullying, manipulated public opinion, ripped open my wounds. This is how you're good to me. If so, then you're truly malicious. Ethan Tisked, sounding somewhat accusatory. Why are you talking like that? I just used you a little bit. Is it really that big of a deal? Traffic can be monetized, you know? Everything now is a script I wrote for you. My plan was perfect. The audience got their thrill, the account gained followers, and the monetization capability increased, which means my worth is rising. Oh, so I was his key to viral fame. I laughed, exasperated. So, for you to capitalize enough on viral fame, I should obediently sacrifice my life, my normal life? And suffer baseless misfortune? Ethan sighed. Anyway, we're going to get married eventually, why are you making such a big deal out of it? Suffering a little injustice to help me succeed, won't it ultimately benefit you too? This was simply the logic of a bandit. I stepped back a few paces, and the more I looked at Ethan, the more he seemed like a stranger. How did the young man I once loved turn into this? Selfish, arrogant, and reckless. His eyes used to be clear and pure, but now, corrupted by greed, they were utterly murky. Shaking my head in disappointment, I said, "You're no longer the Ethan I knew. The current you makes me feel like a stranger, scares me, disgusts me. I think we probably can't go back to how things were, so let's end this. I want to call off the engagement." 15 Ethan suddenly gripped my shoulders, his eyes bloodshot, even his gaze turning terrifying. Call off the engagement? What dream are you living in? It's an honor for you that I'm willing to keep my promise and marry you. There's no way you can say no. You'll realize clearly later that, given your circumstances, you absolutely cannot marry into a better family. I am definitely your optimal solution. I know you're inevitably angry from suffering all this for nothing. So, I'll just assume you're speaking nonsense. Don't bring this up again. It was certainly wrong of me to fool you with a fake ring for the engagement. When we get married, I'll definitely buy you a real one, the best one. His voice buzzed in my ears, making my head pound. My head hurt too. Chloe is clearly a better match for you, so I don't understand why you're so fixated on marrying me. Ethan smiled. That condescending, objectifying smile made me feel physically ill. Chloe can't compare to you. She's so promiscuous, loose, to me, she's nothing but a mere toy, to be discarded once used. So, it's just for fun, no need to take it seriously. But you're different, you're obedient and sensible, diligent and generous, good with people, and skilled at caring for elders. Grandma also likes you a lot. And I happen to like you too. So, of course, you're the best option for marriage. I couldn't describe how I felt at that moment. Was treating me like a commodity? Because I was good value for money, practical, and the elders at home would be happy with me. Achieving multiple benefits. So why not? What a self-serving pragmatist. Ethan's abilities had truly grown, he had shown me the diversity of species in a short time. I admit I used to cherish you, but now I just want to be as far away from you as possible. Ethan merely shrugged, his indifference betraying a strange confidence. You'll eventually figure it out. When it comes to marriage, I'm definitely your optimal solution. Arrogant and condescending. As if marrying him was a great favor, an unparalleled honor for me. But if that's the case, I'd rather give up this so-called optimal solution. 16 Ethan fixed my phone, but at the same time, he also completely cleared out all its content. He patted my shoulder and comforted me, saying, just bear with it for a while. Once I've capitalized enough on viral fame, everything will return to normal. Since my fist didn't reach him, his words were, as expected, light and dismissive. Grandma will be coming over in a few days. Please help take care of her. Ethan, acting as if nothing had happened, continued to issue orders in his usual tone. My mouth twitched. But then I thought, it's actually perfect. With his old lady here, I can tell her all the despicable things he's done lately. That old lady had always been good to me, often saying she treated me like her own granddaughter. Luna, how could you think that way? My precious grandson did this to earn money so you could have a good life later, didn't he? What are you being so difficult about? He's just playing around with that city girl, it's not serious. It's a common fault among men, they'll all make this mistake eventually. You should be glad he made this mistake before marriage. I was speechless. Turns out, their loyalty lies with their own. I was so foolish to actually hope she would stand up for me. Grandma continued, my good grandson is capable now. Plenty of young girls would be willing to be with him. Stop being so overly sensitive here. If I didn't see how diligent and sensible and obedient you are, I wouldn't even want you in my house. You've been talking all this time and you haven't even poured me a glass of water. I'm telling you in advance, even if you marry into this family, I'm still the one in charge, the old lady said imperiously. 17 Then I'm not interested in marrying your grandson at all, I said, going to grab my suitcase. The old lady immediately got agitated and came to block me. What are you being so difficult about, you girl? What about my grandson isn't worthy of you? Yes, your grandson is arrogant and condescending, and I'm just an ordinary worker. I'm not worthy of him. So don't block me. Given your grandson's current circumstances, he'll definitely find a better, more suitable girl. So go ruin someone else's life. Don't ruin mine. The old lady was so angry she started scratching my face. You brat, what kind of talk is that? Who is Ethan that you get to look down on him? If you dare to leave this door now, don't ever think about coming back in. My home doesn't welcome you. That's perfect, actually. I'll celebrate getting out of this misery and successfully getting away from you strange grandma and grandson. The old lady started cursing loudly, not caring about her image at all. Fine, then get out, and roll as far as you can. You're only capable of talking big now. If I make Ethan call off the engagement with you, you'll be even more unable to get married. I'm telling you, no one will want damaged goods that have been returned. Hashtag %%, hashtag. She cursed more and more vulgar words. I wasn't interested in listening further, so I took my luggage and left. As I took the elevator down, I coincidentally ran into Ethan again. He didn't try to persuade me, but simply stated with certainty, you'll definitely regret this. 18 I did regret it, regretted dedicating my best youth to Ethan. And because I was emotionally neglected, I tried to rely on him for my future. So I willingly worked to support his education, earning him tuition and living expenses, taking care of his daily meals, constantly worrying about his health. Everything revolved around him, but he was not worth my efforts. 19 I found a new place to stay. Skylar, my stepsister, who had never contacted me before, suddenly came to find me. Initially, I didn't want to bother with her, but then I heard her say that her mother was gravely ill and didn't have much time left. She had something she wanted to tell me. Truthfully, I wasn't curious about what Eleanor would say to me. My only curiosity was how pathetic and miserable she was in the hospital room right now. After all, back then, after my father died in a car accident, she couldn't wait to kick me out of the house. She dismissed me with a small payout of just a few tens of thousands of dollars. On the day of the college entrance exam, she deliberately hid my admission ticket and ruined my life. I cursed her then, wishing her a terrible death. Now it seemed that curses were worth saying. What if they came true? This was the only thing that brought me satisfaction in so many days. Eleanor came to repent, expressing regret for her previous cruelty towards me. She claimed to have had several near-death experiences, each time seeing my deceased father tormenting her from the afterlife. She used to be fearless and arrogant to no end, but now, facing death, she suddenly felt fear. Eleanor relentlessly begged for my forgiveness. I maintained an indifferent expression throughout. Forgive you? Will that restart my lost life? I could have gone to university, but she deliberately ruined everything and crushed my dream of attending university. After her illness, her face was exceptionally gaunt, excessive thinness unbalanced her features, making her look skeletal. She gripped my wrist and cried out, Ethan made me do it. I regret it. I shouldn't have listened to that kid. You should blame him. I was stunned. Ethan made you do it? Eleanor nodded vigorously. He said if you went to university and became successful, you'd definitely come back to get revenge on me. I foolishly believed him for a moment. Do you ever tell the truth? Skylar looked at me. My mom is dying, why would she lie to you? She wouldn't gain anything from it. She had a point. A dying person had no reason to specifically lie to me. It wouldn't benefit them at all. So, Ethan was the one who personally ruined my life path. Thinking about all these years I worked my ass off to earn money and support his university education, I found it laughable. 20 After telling me all this, Eleanor died within a few days. After the funeral, Skylar handed me a cardboard box. It was heavy, filled with many things. I took them out and found they were all my old belongings, as well as some keepsakes from my parents. Skylar pulled out a phone and said, "This is your high school phone. The screen is broken, but the memory wasn't lost." I took the phone and pressed the power button. It actually turned on. "You and Ethan." Skylar hesitated to speak. I fiddled with my phone, head down. "We broke up." "Then, are you just going to let it go? He's the one who ruined your life." I couldn't help but laugh. "Skylar, you used to hate me too, didn't you? Now you're acting like this. What do you mean by that?" Skylar pursed her lips and fell silent. After a long moment, she reluctantly spoke, "I'm sorry. I hold grudges. The past won't just disappear." Skylar blinked. "I was just thinking if there was anything I could do to help you. Like your mom, you want to repent too?" Skylar bit her lower lip, not speaking. She nodded in agreement. 21 I found some chat logs on my old phone. I saved them and even backed them up on a USB drive to prevent losing them. But this content was far from enough. Skylar scratched her head. "Actually, I have photos and videos of your engagement from earlier this year on my phone. I recall not inviting you." Skylar rubbed her nose. "Well, I was just curious." At the time, she simply felt resentful, so she secretly went to take a look. When she later found out the engagement party wasn't grand at all, she felt much better. She casually took some photos and videos and sent them to Eleanor. Back then, the mother and daughter were secretly mocking me. But now they didn't dare. Skylar had seen bad people get their comeuppance through her mother, and she was afraid she'd end up the same way. She feared she wouldn't find peace even after death. I rolled my eyes at her. It was easy to figure out that she didn't have good intentions when she took those things. However, these things might still be useful, so I asked her to send me a copy. 22 I proactively contacted Ethan. He raised an eyebrow, wearing an expression that suggested he'd expected this. "I knew you'd regret it. Go apologize to Grandma later, and we can put this behind us. We won't blame you." His tone sounded very generous and forgiving. He was also very confident, his expression as if he was certain I would back down and admit fault. My lips twitched, and I didn't give him a pleasant look. I directly told him about seeing Eleanor at the hospital, including the incident with the admission ticket. After listening, Ethan showed no sign of feeling guilty. Girls don't need to study that much anyway. In the end, a woman's most glorious moment is still when she has a grand wedding. "All these years, you worked to support my education, which was nothing short of an investment. Anyway, we're going to get married eventually, so why do you care about these things? When a man achieves success, you women benefit from it." His tone carried a sense of entitlement. There was even a hint of arrogance, as if I should be beholden to him. "Ethan, who told you that a woman's worth should be judged by marriage and by men? It's always been like this since ancient times." Ethan retorted self-righteously, "Don't women have to rely on men to survive?" He grabbed my wrist and stared directly at me. "Don't dwell on the past. Those things happened long ago. People need to look forward." I forcefully pulled his hand away and gave him a slap. "You can talk so casually about ruining someone else's life? From your tone, should I thank you for this lifetime?" Publicly slapped by me, Ethan was embarrassed. He clutched half his face, gritting his teeth. "Luna, don't push your luck. I've indulged you because I still have some feelings for you. Don't make a big deal out of it." I chuckled. "Then you must be truly broad-minded, stringing me along while showing off your affection online with your academic girlfriend." "I told you already, Chloe and I were just for fun. I might have physically strayed, but mentally, I've been faithful. Besides, I've never genuinely cared for anyone else. So it doesn't even count as cheating, much less betrayal." I couldn't help but applaud him. I've seen many eloquent speakers, but this is the first time I've seen someone spewing utter nonsense. Ethan glared at me. "How dare you speak like that? Can't you watch your image?" I suddenly stood up and smiled. "The one who needs to watch his image should be you, shouldn't it? The male lead of today's live stream." "What live stream? What male lead?" Skylar stood up from her seat, shaking her phone. "Sorry about that, it's all recorded." Ethan saw the phone in her hand, his face filled with disbelief. "Skylar, didn't you used to hate her the most? Why the sudden change?" Skylar shrugged. "Well, people change." Ethan watched the comments flash rapidly across the phone screen, his face instantly turning pale. 23 While the topic was still hot, I posted the chat logs I had organized and the engagement video online. Our relationship started at 18, so there was no third-party involvement. Once this was revealed, the Ethan-Chloe account was completely overwhelmed. As users put it, it was a massive twist. The account, with over 1 million followers, was reported and banned directly. The viral fame Ethan had capitalized on started to backfire. Partners demanded termination and compensation, and the talent agency he had just signed with also wanted to terminate their contract. These termination fees totaled over 1 million, practically emptying all the money Ethan had saved over the years. But the spectacle was far from over. Ethan and Chloe had a public falling out, reportedly over the distribution of account revenue. Chloe believed she had established the account, so she deserved a larger share. Ethan, however, felt that his meticulously designed scripts attracted more traffic. The two had a public falling out over profit issues, which quickly turned into a public spat. Ethan said, "Everything about Chloe is fake, and she still markets herself as natural beauty and academic star, what a joke." Chloe immediately retorted, You're addicted to being a mistress. You knew I had a girlfriend and still threw yourself at me. How are you any different from a gold digger? Ha! You talk as if you're so noble. You personally designed the script and publicly shamed your own fiancé. What kind of man are you? The extent of their public falling out far exceeded my imagination. In the end, one can only say that a scumbag and a manipulative woman are both bad news. Users followed the drama, taking turns to curse at them. Soon, in the midst of this public spat, the two became pariahs that everyone condemned. The website, citing that they had disrupted public order, banned both of them from the platform. From then on, they would never have another chance to capitalize on viral fame. 24 Ethan's reputation was completely ruined. Even if he tried to switch industries, no company was willing to accept him. His master's degree became utterly useless. He eventually hit rock bottom, unable to even pay rent. Then he suddenly contacted me again. His audacity was still astounding. "It's so hot outside, aren't you going to let me in for a seat? My place isn't a dumpster, why would trash like you come in?" Ethan blinked innocently. "Just consider it a mistake I made in the past. For the sake of our years together, please forgive me. Do I look like a garbage dump? Or are you out of your mind?" I slammed the door shut. No matter how much Ethan knocked afterwards, I didn't respond. I asked the building management to remove him, and only then did I find some peace. 25 On the last day of August, I received a job offer from a company. It was a wealthy new company, and the CEO was an independent woman. After seeing my story online, she decided to give me an exceptional job opportunity. So, I became the only employee in the company with only a high school diploma. Fortunately, I was diligent and eager to learn. 3 months later, I successfully became a permanent employee. I got along very well with my highly educated colleagues. One day, while gossiping with a colleague, I heard the latest news about Ethan. He went to prison for murder. The person murdered was his only relative, his grandma. The incident began when the grandma and grandson conspired to steal things, but unfortunately, they were discovered by the owner. While fleeing, Ethan accidentally pushed grandma down the stairs. She bled profusely at the time. If had called 911, there would have been a chance to save her. But he didn't. Instead, he only cared about taking the stolen goods and left grandma there alone. As a result, grandma died from excessive blood loss. An indescribable sense of satisfaction arose within me. Got what you deserved, didn't you? 26 I stayed at the company for 3 years, during which I received constant promotions and raises. After I had saved enough money, I submitted my resignation to my supervisor. He didn't understand my decision. I just smiled faintly and said, "Because now I'm going to pursue the unrealized dream from my youth." Later, I saw many sights I never had the chance to see before. I met even more amazing people. I underwent many noticeable changes, becoming more accomplished, beautiful, and powerful. I made myself the protagonist of my own world again, no longer living for others. I only love myself. Thank you for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments section below, so feel free to share your views. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories. See you next time.